What's up, podcasters? Today we are diving into a tool that has quite literally taken the tech world by storm in the last couple of months. And this tool could revolutionize the way that we create and manage our podcasts. Today we're talking about AI and more specifically, ChatGPT. Since it launched back in November of 2022, ChatGPT has been the fastest growing platform with over 1 million users in just 5 days. Until Meta decided to launch Threads and then that became a whole thing. Up until that point, it was the fastest growing platform out there. Faster than Netflix, Twitter, Facebook, and even Instagram. But what exactly is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a program developed by OpenAI, and it's designed to answer or solve questions in a human-like or conversation-like manner. It's almost like having a virtual assistant at your ready 24/7 that can answer all sorts of different questions and help you with a lot of the tasks that you're doing on a daily basis. But now you're probably wondering, how can this help me as a podcaster do what I do better? Let's dive into it. From a content creation and podcasting perspective, ChatGPT is pretty much a game changer here. It can help with script writing, brainstorming topics, generating interview questions for your episodes, and even help you write those show notes pages that we all hate to write so much. But first things first, you're going to have to create an account over at chat.openai.com. You're going to click sign up. Now you can either sign up with Google, Microsoft, or continue with Apple, or you can create your own account just from an email. It's going to ask you a few questions, but it's completely free to sign up. You don't need to pay a thing to get access into the basic form of ChatGPT. Now there is a premium version of ChatGPT, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But to get started, we're just going to be operating on the free version of ChatGPT right now. Now, one thing before we get started actually using it, it is important to note, and you're going to see this plastered all over ChatGPT, is that it doesn't always generate accurate answers. The answers are not always correct. Sometimes ChatGPT likes to hallucinate. So it is your job as the human, the podcaster, the creator, to fact check the information that ChatGPT is giving you to make sure that it is in fact correct. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's use ChatGPT to try to come up with questions for a podcast interview. So this is the page you'll be greeted with when you log into ChatGPT for the first time. In here, you literally start having a conversation with ChatGPT, start asking it questions, and it'll give you feedback. So the first thing that we're going to say is, I need help coming up with podcast questions for my next interview. I would like some unique questions to ask my personal training and fitness expert guest about effective morning routines that can help boost my metabolism in the mornings prior to starting my day. That sounds pretty good. Hit send. And now ChatGPT is starting to come up with a bunch of different questions that we could potentially ask this hypothetical guest for our podcast. Okay, so we got 10 questions here now that ChatGPT gave us. What are some practical steps one can take to kickstart their metabolism in the morning? Are there specific foods or drinks that can enhance metabolism in the morning? If so, what are they and how can they be incorporated into a morning routine? Apart from exercise, what other lifestyle factors can contribute to a faster metabolism in the morning? Can you suggest any unique or lesser known activities or exercises that people can try in the morning to give their metabolism a boost? So as you can see, the questions here are pretty good. Now we might want to spin some of these questions ourselves, make some tweaks to them and make them more specific to the guests that we're having on the show. But these are pretty darn good. And one thing to keep in mind when you're using ChatGPT, the more specific you can be with your questions that you're asking, the better responses you're going to get. So we could come in here, we could say, give me 5 questions, give me 10 questions, give me 20 questions for this podcast episode. And ChatGPT, for the most part, will do just that. Okay, so say we're good with these questions, but we want to take it a step further and we want to actually build an outline around these questions for our podcast episode. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'm keeping this question very vague and kind of simple, but using these questions, help me build a rough outline for this podcast episode. Include an intro to the episode, a body, and a conclusion. And ChatGPT is starting to do its thing. Now, while it's doing that, I will say if you already have a good format for your podcast episode, you can literally feed it examples or be as specific as you want with these types of questions. If you have a certain format that you like to use in your intros, if there's a way that you like to structure your interview questions, or if there's something specific and unique to your podcast episode, be sure to include that in your questions to ChatGPT, and you'll be pretty surprised at how accurate in most cases ChatGPT can be with that. Okay, so let's take a quick glance at what ChatGPT came up with. Okay, so we have the introduction, welcome and intro to the podcast, briefly introducing the topic of effective morning routines for boosting metabolism, introduce the personal training fitness expert guest, highlight the importance of metabolism and its impact on overall health and fitness, and then we get into the body. So it looks like it broke it down into 6 different sections: kickstarting the metabolism, practical steps, nutrition and hydration for faster metabolism, beyond exercise, lifestyle factors factors for healthy metabolic rate, stretching, mobility, and mindfulness, breakfast, fasting, and metabolic considerations, learning unique morning activities, and then we wrap this whole thing up with conclusion. So this is where you, as once again, the human here, can go in here, you can fact check the information that's already being presented, tweak the information to match your style and the type of interview that you want to conduct. But ChatGPT has already given us a pretty good jumping off point for this episode. Now where the magic of ChatGPT really comes into play is once you get into the premium features of ChatGPT that allows you to do a lot more than just ask questions. With ChatGPT Plus, which is $20 a month, so it is an investment, you do get more features. You get plugins that add additional functionality to ChatGPT, including one of the biggest ones right now, and that is the code interpreter, which essentially allows you to upload documents like PDFs, Word, Excel, and ChatGPT will go through that information, analyze it, and give you responses based on the information in that document that you've uploaded. For a podcaster, this would allow you to upload your own transcript into ChatGPT and then ask it questions about that transcript, or even generate show notes pages based on that transcript. Then you can even take that transcript and you could generate social media posts or have it pull out different clips from the transcript that you could use for social media and promoting the podcast episode. So it's some pretty powerful stuff. So as you can see, ChatGPT is like having a brainstorm partner with you 24/7 that you can bounce ideas off of, ask questions, and get pretty solid responses. And although you might not want to take everything that ChatGPT gives you exactly how it gives it to you, it can be a great way to kickstart the brainstorming process, get your own mind turning. And I've personally found that when I use ChatGPT, I might not take the responses that it gives me, but it does trigger some things in my own mind that get my wheels turning, that get new ideas flowing into my brain and help me come up with some new content that I think is going to resonate well with my audience. And now, of course, with any AI tool, any new technology, there are limitations, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. ChatGPT and many of these other AI tools that you might see out there like Google, Bard, Claude, these tools can be great for brainstorming and coming up with the seed idea for your content, but they're not always going to be accurate, and you should never be taking these answers exactly how they give them to you. The way I look at it, ChatGPT and these other AI tools should get you about 80 to 90% of the way there, and then it is your responsibility as the creator, as the podcast host, to bring it home that last 10 to 20%. Your audience, your listeners, they're tuning in because of you, the host. They want to hear your perspectives and your opinions on the show that you're hosting. They're not tuning in to see what some AI chatbot thinks about a specific topic. Keep that in mind as you're using this tool. It's a great resource. It's a great asset, and it can be a great way to assist you in what you're doing, but don't let it completely take over your content and your show. So there you have it. That's a quick glance at ChatGPT and some of the ways that you might be able to use it for your podcast or your content creation. I highly recommend you give it a try. As of right now, not many people are using this technology. You might be hearing about it. You might be seeing it all over the place. At the recording of this video, only about 14% of Americans have actually used ChatGPT. And let me tell you something. AI is not going anywhere. So if you start using this platform now, you're going to be among the early adopters of this AI technology, just putting you that much further ahead of everyone else who's eventually going to be hopping on the bandwagon and using this to grow their businesses, grow their podcasts, create better content. So give it a try and let me know what you think. And if you want to learn more advanced ways of using ChatGPT like ChatGPT Plus to improve your podcast and take care of some of those mundane tasks, drop a comment down below and let me know. If you're interested in learning more, I'll do another video talking specifically about ChatGPT Plus and how it differs from the free version of ChatGPT, the different features you get with ChatGPT Plus, and how much better this platform is. But that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, and keep an eye out for more videos about AI, podcasting, and content creation.